Hi. So tonight I'm planning on making some burgers. I have this really good recipe for some Old Bay seasoned burgers, and I'm going to make it with some potato wedges, but I don't have any buns, so I found a recipe and I'm going to make some brioche buns for tonight, hoping that they come out good. So I'm just gonna kind of get the dough and everything ready now so that when I go to cook everything later, it's all set. So I found this recipe. It's Teeny Younger or Young. Um, she's like a she's like TikTok famous, right? So she's been on like cooking shows with like Gordon Ramsay and stuff. So I'm gonna trust her recipe. Everything that she makes looks really good. So here we go. So we're going to make brioche buns. So we have a half a cup of warm milk, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. And I did put this in the fridge because it's open and you're not supposed to leave it out. So she says 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. Seems like a lot. Okay. I'm going to trust her. 1 tablespoon active dry yeast and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay. And we're going to mix this up. And we're going to let it bloom for about 5 to 10 minutes. Give this a little mix. I heated this milk up for about 30 seconds in the microwave, so I hope it's actually kind of warm. Measuring cup felt warm, but I feel like whenever you put something in the microwave, it doesn't really tend to heat it evenly. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there to bloom for about 5 to 10 minutes. And once that's bloomed, we are going to add that to 2.5 cups of flour. So let's measure that out so that we can get this going. I don't know if I'm going to have enough flour in here, actually. I think I might need to refill my little container. Okay, so we've got 1. Ooh, we might just have enough. 2 and 1/2 cups. Ooh, yeah, we're just going to have just enough. Let's do a little bit more here. I'll have to refill that later. So we'll mix it into 2.5 cups flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. It seems like all these bread dough recipes are pretty similar to each other. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll have to put in 2 eggs, and then she says to mix it until that's all incorporated. She did hers in her stand mixer. I'm not going to bring my stand mixer up because it's in my basement and it's a little heavy, a lot of effort. So we'll add 2 eggs to that, and then we'll mix it until it's all incorporated, and then we'll add in 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter. I have the butter, I've had it sitting out all morning and it's relatively soft, but I might just melt it a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to mix and incorporate. So I'm going to kind of cut them up into these little pats, I guess that you can call it, like 4 little sections here. And then once it's, and you know what, I'm probably going to heat it up for about like 5 or 10 seconds, just getting it a little bit softer so it's easier to mix, because once we add it, we're going to mix that all up until the butter is incorporated, and then we'll let our dough rest for about an hour. So our yeast has been blooming for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it in with our flour. And then I'm going to give it a good mix, get the sugar in here. Okay. And then we're going to just give it a mix. Mix, mix, mix. Until this is all incorporated. Now, this dough looks a little bit drier than the dough that I'm used to making, and I think the egg will add some moisture into it. But we are just going to kind of mix and mash until it is all incorporated here. This is what we're looking at right now. So it's kind of, you know, it is a little bit crumbly. And I'm going to add the eggs in right now. Now, eggs are pretty expensive, so I don't want to mess this one up for sure. All right. Okay, there goes one. Get the other one in there. These are a little cold. Like, I usually like to have everything at room temperature, but unfortunately I forgot to take the eggs out this morning, so hopefully it being cold isn't really going to affect this dough too much. And we're going to give this a nice good stir so that everything gets incorporated here. And she didn't really say how long to mix everything. She just said mix until incorporated. And the funny thing is, I don't typically eat a ton of bread, but I've been making so much bread lately, all kinds of different things. My family likes to eat a lot of bread. My husband likes to do like ham or turkey sandwiches, so he likes to have bread for that. The kids love English muffins. They tried the ones that I made, and Colin liked it. Gianna wasn't a huge fan. So I you know what? I think I'm gonna just keep practicing with that. I really think that I can perfect it. I mean, it can't be the recipes. It's gotta be me at this point, because I've tried 2 different recipes, and although the last recipe came out much better than the first one, I still think I can work on getting more like air bubbles into there, incorporated. All right. So this is how we're looking right now. I've just kind of been incorporating it there. Now, obviously, she had hers in a stand mixer, so it looked a little bit better than this. I kind of like to get my hands in there and knead the dough. I find that to be a bit relaxing. So I would say that this is incorporated. The eggs are incorporated. You know, I don't see any dry flour anywhere. So now we're going to go ahead and put in those 4 tablespoons of butter. And I put this in the microwave for about 10 seconds just to kind of get it a little softer, and it is like spreading, so look at that. So I think let's just give this a mix. She just said do it until it's incorporated. It's a good arm workout. So I've been mixing this for a little bit, and this is kind of what it looks like. It's a bit sticky, so I'm not really sure if I've mixed this enough, but I think it'll be fine. If not, you know what? We are going to just have burgers without the buns tonight. They don't come out good. It's fine. I'm not going to be mad at it. The burgers will be good. So next what we're going to do is we're just going to lightly oil this bowl, roll this thing in a ball, and let it sit. She said to rest it for about an hour or an hour to an hour and a half. So I'm going to do just that. It is quite sticky. Like, I'm scooping this thing off the spatula and it's pretty sticky. But we're not gonna let that stop us. Let's put a little bit of oil in this bowl. And she actually oiled the ball of dough, so maybe that will help with it not being so sticky. Put some on my hands. Yeah. Let's get both hands in there. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna just work this with my right hand. Oh, I am fighting with this thing today. I'm gonna form it into a ball. I really hope that this turns out okay, because I do like brioche bread and brioche buns. Quite good. I mean, I'm not like super worried because there's another bread recipe that I make, and I noticed that when it's sticky, it actually comes out a lot better than when the ball of dough is really like together. So, you know what? I have high hopes for this. Be positive and optimistic, right? What is being pessimistic going to do for us? Nothing. Yeah, I always tell the kids, try to be positive. Find the good in stuff, right? All right. I mean, and it's coming together in a little bit of a ball. Yeah, see? Not sticking as much. All right. So I am going to cover this sweet little ball of dough in olive oil. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to cover this with a cloth and I'm just going to let it rest for about an hour to an hour and a half. And then I will uncover it, roll it into four little balls, and I'll bake it. See what happens. Okay. All right, we are back. Our dough has been resting for about an hour and a half, and it's doubled in size. Now, I don't remember if she punched the dough down, so she just kind of like placed it on a floured surface and cut it into four. So that's what we're gonna do. I refilled my flour canister. We're going to just sprinkle a little bit of flour on the counter here. Hopefully that's enough. You know what? Let me take my ring off here. I don't like to get stuff in my rings while I'm cooking or baking. All right, so we've got our dough. It feels very nice and like soft. That makes me happy. All right. Oh, that is really soft dough. I have high hopes for this. So we're gonna cut this into four. And a lot of people have that metal bench scraper. We used to have one and I have no idea where it is. So we got this little plastic one when I had bought something. So I'm gonna use that. We're done with our basin. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to roll these into a ball, and I have a baking sheet with some parchment paper. I'm just gonna put them on here. So let's put this over here. Put it out of the way. She was just saying you just kind of roll it up into like a little ball here, and I guess, yeah. There is like a technique to how you can roll these up. I'm not quite sure I know how to do it, so I think that this looks very good. So we're gonna go and put this on our sheets. I'm really excited about these buns because like I said, I really do like brioche buns. I don't eat a lot of bread, but when I do, brioche bun's the way to go. Oh, look at that. The bottoms are a little, got some seams, but that's okay. The third one. I think I might have put a little too much flour down. That's all right. All right. I'm gonna have to practice that technique of rolling out the dough into little balls. Okay, and we've got our last one here. Okay, I'm gonna clean up my counter a little bit. Like I said, I think I used a little too much flour. Okay. I like to use this Method Daily Granite cleaner to clean off my counter. Just really like this one. They have a really good glass cleaner that we use. And I feel like it doesn't leave a lot of like streaks. Streaks drive my husband crazy, especially on like the stainless steel. Okay, clean that up a little bit better afterwards. So now we've got our 4 little balls of dough, and we're just going to take a piece of plastic wrap and we're going to cover it and let it sit for another 30 minutes. And once it's risen a little bit more, we are going to do a little bit of an egg wash on it and then bake it at 350 for about 20 minutes. So she just kind of did it like this. So we'll see in about half an hour. So these have been sitting for about a half an hour and they look so good. I'm going to go ahead and show you. They've about doubled in size. Plastic wrap off here. Look at that. That looks so good. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. It's at 290 right now. So we're going to just go ahead, and I prepared a bit of an egg wash here. So it's just 1 egg beaten up with some, like a little bit of water. And we are going to go ahead and just brush this right onto these gorgeous buns. So these, I mean, they look so good. I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna try not to jostle them up too much because they seem very, very fluffy, airy, and I don't want to disturb that. But holy moly. Now I'm really excited for dinner tonight. I probably won't record dinner tonight just because I went out with a friend yesterday, so I wasn't home for dinner, and want to spend a little bit of that time with the kids. Sometimes recording can take a little while, and I'm just gonna take my time with it tonight. I have a feeling my son is really gonna like these. He likes to make these sandwiches, and it's basically a hamburger bun. He puts one slice of provolone cheese on it, one slice of cheddar cheese, and 5 turkey pepperonis. If you put more than that, he takes them out of the sandwich, but he'll eat that pretty much every day if you would let him. So if he ends up liking this bread, I might have to make more so that he can use it for his little sandwiches. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like once we get these hamburgers in them. This is what they're looking like. They look absolutely delicious. I cut one of these open. Look at that. So beautiful. So excited to have these tonight.